All right, so Cheryl Hines and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Huh. Lots of buzz, lots of opinions. What's the real story? Let's dive in.
Well, I think it's interesting, right? It shows us how public figures, especially those connected to politics, deal with personal stuff when everyone's watching.
Totally. Okay, so we've got this People magazine article, right?
Mm.
Cheryl Hines is at this Groundlings 50th anniversary thing, all smiles, saying she's, quote, feeling good. But, like, we know there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So what's your take on that? It seems kind of calculated, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about the Groundlings. Comedy, right.
Yeah.
Lighthearted. It's almost like she's choosing this event, this environment, to make a statement.
Right, like, everything's fine. Look at me. I'm at a party.
Exactly. Controlling the narrative. We see that a lot with celebrities using appearances strategically. It's fascinating how that works.
It really is. And speaking of appearances, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. These rumors about RFK Jr. and Olivia Nuzzi, right? Like, there's a new headline every week.
And what's interesting to me is Cheryl Hines' silence on the whole thing. No confirmation, no denial, just quiet.
Which, in a way, speaks volumes.
Right, totally. Like, why add fuel to the fire? It's strategic, for sure.
Definitely. And yet, there have been these whispers about divorce, maybe because of their political differences. Talk about a tangled web.
It really is, because on the one hand, we've got these rumors, right? But then they're at the Alfred E. Smith dinner together. Apparently some PDA was happening. And then Ethel Kennedy's funeral, they're there together. So it makes you wonder, is it a united front or is it strategy, especially with the election coming up?
Speaking of the election, did you see that bit in the People article where Hines mentions she Googles the election countdown every day? Every day.
It's such a weird detail, and yet it's so revealing. On the surface, it's relatable. I mean, a lot of people are glued to election news, but it makes you think, what's going on in her head? Is it anxiety? Is it excitement? Is she on board with his campaign? We don't know.
Right. It's like one little sentence opens up a whole can of worms.
It really does.
And then she says she's, and I quote, feeling peaceful about the election, with everything going on that feels significant.
Right. Like, peaceful how? Peaceful that it's almost over. Peaceful with whatever the outcome will be. Does this hint at her political leanings? We're left to speculate.
This whole thing is wild.
Totally.
It's like we're watching a political drama unfold.
It really is. And I think it reminds us that what we see, those headlines, those carefully curated appearances, are just a tiny part of the story.
Right. It's like a performance.
Exactly. And behind that performance, there's a whole lot more going on that we might never fully understand.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
So next time you see Cheryl Hines smiling in a photo, just remember, there's always more to the story.
There always is.
And that's your deep dive for today.